comes down to what is the effective use. I mean, we don't have an unlimited number of these things, in the sense that you have to pay for them. And I'm very careful about where I'm depositing these things. I would like to see if the administration even says, yes, we'd like to have 600 copies. And I say, fine, you've got them. You know, I'm willing to put the money there.
With the Eglon administration?
Yeah.
Have you sent this to them also?
It will arrive March 24. Yeah. I've sent 20 copies.
And you sent them to
McDonald, right. And so it will be a question of, you know, how do they respond? You know, I hope that they will not assume that they have to pay for these things, that, you know, the JC Society will sponsor these because it's our little mission. Everything's been scrubbed of opinion. Everything. It's only JC. If you look at it, I've taken out all those comments that you and I made, which, you know, at some point we ought to have the edition where comments are added, because I thought that by us saying this was important to me, we are making a criticism of the school because that thing's not happening. You know, like the
I think that was well done.
It was painful.
To the teacher's lounge.
It was
instead of to McDonald's.
Well, yeah. See, I want to send a different version, possibly with a different cover, to signal the difference. Something with commentaries, something like that. I want a second version that captures all those comments. And when I'm down in Australia and talking with, Alex Holland, I'm going to just ask him, what was it that you really benefited? And, we could collect and attach to JC, because I think that's the mindset here, that we are the repositories of JC. He has no school now that carries. I'm sorry. There is no school on the planet that really captures all aspects of his philosophy. And with the practices. And we can enumerate the practices as you have ably done on the JC Society website. I mean, you came up with like 38 or 40 different things.
Did I?
Yes, you were so good.
I must have been really creative for one day.
Oh, you were going. But Noel could add one thing. After he read your list, he said, oh, John got it all. And so
I must have been in a particularly alert mode at that particular stage.
Right. And so maybe just for clarity, we have to have a separate book entirely. But or there might be a case to be made for the speeches, the writings of JC with commentaries might be the title of it, with the idea that the commentaries are helping people see these were the procedures that were in place. Because JC doesn't really say too much about some of the procedures, like the eating with staff or reporting back after you've gone on an X. These things were important because it was a one-on-one exchange. You didn't just come back and get your points. You had to be debriefed. That's a procedure that a school has to account for, that they have to have a staff member that will sit down, and then someone devious like DB will try to figure out, they're going over to that coal. Well, if I sit over here, I'll be able to see if they go over. And I would include the commentary by Barraclaw, where he talked about him almost getting tossed out because of lying on an expedition debriefing.
Did he get into that trouble? I don't know that one.
Well, see, that's the problem. I put these things on myeglon.com, send links out to people, and they're not getting read. So I'm thinking, okay, what format do you think would be better, to have an extended version and piggyback on, or should we keep JC's writings pure and alone?
No, I think right now, let's see how this here filters through.
Right.
I think it is incredibly clean. Therefore, that's good. I don't know whether I would have center aligned or aligned everything so it comes more in a block format, more traditional. These are
sure.
thoughts as I'm looking at it.
Do you want to just mark how you would reformat it, and then I'll just change the because I can send the Word document back again, and it can be changed.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Do you want to just make a photocopy and then mark it, and then send the scan of that one page, and then I'll try to format that?
I'll go through it and just come up with ideas as I go on this year. I think it's very good that you have an ISBN number. That's a critical part of all of this year.
Well,
it makes it leave the world of advertising and enter the world of books.
Oh, right. It's no longer a brochure or propaganda.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. It's not a pamphlet. What are those things called from like Common Sense by Thomas Paine? He was a pamphleteer. Yeah. This is we're not. It's not a brochure. We're not pamphleting. This is just a book that's out there for people to discuss.
Yes.
So, just to keep in the back of your mind, what format would we collect the commentaries that we've made about JC's writings? We don't have to answer that today, but
no, that's not a question for today.
Yeah, but I have about 3 weeks.
I think limited words are very powerful.
Good.
So it's what are the images that we need to convey is very important, and that is in the context of the way people absorb information today, and that needs to be taken into account.
Okay, so that is an explanation for having a separate book, which would be commentaries on, and then it would point to, go and read JC's, and then see how we would apply it.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a way of thinking about it.
Nice. Thank you so much for your time.